Warrior Saints, glad to have you beautiful people with us as we continue talking about the darkness and making sure the darkness is not going to overtake us. How do we make sure that we stay above the darkness? The answer to that is every single day when we are presented with them, we need to recognize those new opportunities to work on this. We need to recognize those moments that are given to us so beautifully, so freely, by such lovely things as American Airlines, where we can have these opportunities to practice chasing the light and not letting the darkness overcome us. I'm going to tell you a true story that happened to me, and it happened to me yesterday. I had a great opportunity. I have a fabulous brother who took me to a football game. It was Monday Night Football. Let's go Steelers. And they beat the New York Giants in Pittsburgh, which means after church on Sunday, I got in an airplane. I went to the game Monday night, which was East Coast time, which means we didn't get out till almost midnight. Between traffic, walking back to the car, all of the things, I didn't get in bed until about 1:30, 1:45 a.m. I then woke up at 4:45 a.m., got in an Uber so that I could go to the Pittsburgh International Airport, fight through TSA, which has all these horrible lines. Their lines were so bad, they even made national news at one point. So I was nervous about early morning flights. It was a 2-minute line. I was then at the gate, ready for my 7:40 a.m. flight. They came on the announcement and said we were delayed because the bathroom was broken. Then they came on and said that they're not able to fix the bathroom, and we would now be delayed because they had to get another plane. Then they said we will now be delayed because that plane was coming from Philadelphia. At least it didn't come from Cleveland. Anyway, so we had to wait for an airplane to come from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh so that we could get on that airplane and fly all the way to Phoenix. Needless to say, it was a 6-hour or 5-hour delay. It was something ridiculous. And I was at the airport for 6 hours for a flight that was delayed 5 hours. And I was going out of my mind and I was getting frustrated. And I was hearing two different groups of people. There was a group of people that were rumbling, that were complaining, that were frustrated. And I was like hearing them behind me. And I was like, yeah. And I could feel it in myself. I could feel the darkness summing up and wanting to come out, and my frustrations growing and mounting as this was going, and I was hearing these people. Then I saw another group of people who were just happy and pleasant, and they were just taking things in stride. And I was like, wow, there are literally two options presented right in front of me of how I can choose to live. And we're talking about chasing the light. Let's do it. Let's get out there and chase the light, because that's what we're actually called to do. We need to find these opportunities to actually chase the light. And when they present themselves, because they're always going to present themselves, we then have to run after them. Because remember what we've been talking about from the Gospel of John. We hear in verses 4 and 5, in him, that light that comes into the word of God, the life, in him was life, and the life was the light of men. That light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. This is like an inspirational, almost battle cry in these moments, because we can let the darkness overcome it, or we can recognize that it is the light of man, that it overcomes the darkness, and that the darkness does not overtake it. It goes further to explain why in verse 12, when we hear the following: to all who received him, the word, who believed in his name, he gave power to become children of God. So this is really where I want to dwell. Because believing in his name doesn't just mean, yes, I believe in you, Jesus. That means that I have you in my heart. That means that I can walk with you, and that you're going to carry me when things get hard. No, believing and having life in his name and becoming children of God means that we do the business to chase after that light, to fight against the darkness, to not allow the darkness to overcome us. While I was on the plane yesterday, I actually watched this Powerful scene from Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, where Gandalf, they think he's still Gandalf the Grey, comes into Rohan, and you can see the entire face, the visage of King Theoden of Rohan is dark, and he's got Wormtongue whispering in his ear, telling him all these things that are the opposite of what life is like. And then Gandalf says, I release you, and nothing happens. But then a few moments later, Gandalf keeps telling Theoden, fight against that darkness. I'm paraphrasing. He doesn't use those words, but that's what he's saying. Fight against the darkness. Don't listen to Wormtongue. And then he opens his cloak and everything is bright and he reveals himself as Gandalf the White, not Gandalf the Grey. He is no longer dark. He has become light by going into the darkness, fighting the Balrog, and emerging as the light that has the power to block the darkness. Theoden chases after that, hears his words, and they expel Wormtongue from Rohan, and Rohan is able to actually then win and overcome all of the dark that is going on. You have that same chance every single day. Are you going to follow the group of people that was sitting behind me that were complaining, that were starting to demand money from American Airlines and looking up things and telling American what they needed to do for them? Or are you going to just realize that it's out of your control and that chasing the light, becoming a child of God, means you can now take that opportunity that is given to you and not waste it complaining, yelling at American to do something that they're not able to change and are not going to change. There's FAA regulations and all of these things that they have to live under, right? So what are you going to do? What's yelling at them going to do? It's not even going to make you feel good. Instead, take that opportunity and chase the light. Find a new way to reframe things, to shift things in your life in that moment so that you're able to get stuff done. So what did I do? I used it as an opportunity to nap because I was exhausted, because I had only slept for like 3 hours before I had to get up for my flight. I used it as an opportunity to get work done that was here, even though I was there, and make phone calls and things once the time shift allowed me to appropriately call people in Phoenix. And I just did what I needed to do so that I wasn't just sitting around wasting my time, wasting my opportunities to chase after the light, and in a little way in my own life, overcome that darkness as it presented itself yesterday. Now I fully understand. Today there will be new opportunities to overcome the darkness. The call for all of us as warrior saints is look for those opportunities. And when those new opportunities present themselves daily, take the opportunity to chase after the light and overcome that darkness, little by little, until more and more we have no more darkness. We only see the light. We'll be back again tomorrow, and until we see you then, you keep walking on the way of the warrior saint.